the Rambler Network.
Hello, welcome back to Casablanca. In this episode, I'm talking about Killer Klowns From Outer Space, which is a 1988 comedy horror film directed, produced, and written by the Chiodo Brothers, and starring Grant Cramer, Suzanne Snyder, and John Allen Nilsson. So, I grew up watching this movie, and yeah, up until a few years ago, not a lot of people had heard of it. When I would bring it up, people would be like, that sounds like a weird movie. And they're not wrong, but they probably meant it in a negative way. I mean it in a very positive way. It hasn't been until the last few years that people have started to be like, oh, I know that movie. It's a funny movie. Or, they like it or something. It is very much a B movie. It knows what it is, and it fully embraces it, and it is amazing. I love this movie, and I wish it had caught on back when it first released. It flopped. It seriously flopped when it came out, and it's one of those movies that very slowly became a cult film. Like I said, it came out in 1988. It's the same year I was born. And only recently, in the last few years, give or take, has become popular. Okay, actually, I just looked. I was born May 25th, 1988. The film was released May 27th, 1988. So I'm older than the movie by 2 days. Well, I mean, release date. The movie existed before I was born because they didn't spawn the movie into existence like in a day. So, but like release wise, I am older than the movie by 2 days. So that's kind of cool. I never knew that. But anyway, over the last few years, they've announced there was an asymmetrical survival horror game that released a couple years ago. No, wait, let me see. It released last year. Oh, it feels like I heard about the game a long time ago and I thought it had been out, but it is an asymmetrical game, and it's a multiplayer. Yeah, the asymmetrical multiplayer video game. It's like Dead by Daylight, Friday the 13th, that new Halloween movie they just announced. It's an interesting premise. I like that. They should have kept it at Dead by Daylight because that one basically has every horror icon in it. You got Freddy, you got Ghostface, you got pretty much everyone is in there, and it's a great game. And then they had to have Friday the 13th come and do it, and it's like, oh, that's the same game, just only with Jason. And then Halloween comes out, and oh, it's the same thing. It's literally the same thing. And Michael Myers can become a ghost. What? And then they have the Killer Klowns one, and they should have stuck with Dead by Daylight. I'm getting off track here. Anyway, so the film basically starts off on a lover's lane type thing, and it shows these like several groups of lovers, or I'll say lovers. They're making out in cars, and then they see a meteor streak across, and they're like, "Hey, let's go check it out." And then they come across a circus tent, and basically there's killer clowns. And like I said at the beginning, this film, it knows what it is, and it fully embraces it. I think one of my favorite lines in this movie, it's, the over-the-top lines. They're in the circus tent near the end, and he opens a door, and there's every time he opens the door, there's another smaller door, and he goes, "Another door? another door, another door. And when I was watching it this time, I actually said it along with him. I bought it on 4K UHD Blu-ray, which is available through Arrow Films, that Arrow Films, that's my second Arrow film to own. I also own Roku, Ringu. They're really good at taking like those old cult films and re-releasing them in 4K. The Chiodo Brothers have talked about doing a requel. They were actually in talks of doing one a few years ago, and Grant Cramer, who played the main character in the movie, he actually talked about what he wanted his character to be like. He said that because something I never realized until I watched it this time. I watched it as a kid. I hadn't seen this movie since I was a kid, and something I didn't realize is this film takes place basically in real time. Uh, it takes place over the course of one night. The whole story takes place over a couple hours, and like the town doesn't even realize what's going on. And so what Grant Cramer said is that his character has become a drunk, and nobody will listen to him. Nobody will believe him when he talks about these killer clowns that came and killed a bunch of people. And then the killer clowns return. And like he was talking about like what he wanted his character to be like, and the story that he wants it to take. And there's an official Killer Clowns Facebook page, and apparently a few years ago somebody posted on there like the official Killer Clowns Facebook page announced that the sequel was in post-production, but that was like 10 years ago. And then the Chiodo Brothers came out and said, "Oh, we're working with different studios to produce this film. We're writing multiple scripts." So, is it in post-production or did they mean pre-production? Because they're very different things. But then another thing that Chiodo Brothers says, I think they don't know what to do with this. They want to do something with this franchise. They have been calling it a franchise. It's one film, and they're calling it a franchise. I keep seeing the word franchise. It's a one film franchise. I mean, technically, it's a franchise in the sense that there's a bunch of merchandise. There's pop figures. There's a video game, like I said. There's like action figures, toys. I think there's even comic books. So it's a franchise in that sense. I'm thinking like franchise like Star Wars has like multiple movies. This is one movie. Like Rockstar called L.A. Noire a franchise, but it's one game. It doesn't even have sequels or comic books or anything. Anyway, I don't think they know what to do with it because they keep talking about doing a requel. They keep talking about doing a remake, a reboot. At one point they talked about turning it into a TV series. And more recently, back in April of 2025, Amazon MGM announced that they've acquired the streaming rights and they're working on doing a full remake with Ryan Gosling producing. And I don't know if that means that they're going to do a remake and have him star in it. I don't know if I would like that. I mean, I like Ryan Gosling. Don't get me wrong. He's a great actor. And he does have, comedy experience, so I think he could pull it off. But like, if they're going to do anything with the series, I want them to continue the story. We like the characters from the first movie. I want them to tell like the story that Grant Cramer said. I want to see that story, like the characters today. Like nobody believes them, and then the clowns returned, and what happens then? I want to see that. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't think they know what to do with this. I don't know if I think they know what to do with the story because it goes from a requel to a full remake to a reboot, which is about the same thing. And it's a TV show, and then it's Amazon MGM's doing something. And so it's like the interest is there, both from the fans and the people behind it. It's just figuring out what to do with it. It's either way, I'm excited. I'm just glad that it's getting attention because, like I said, growing up, I would tell people about this movie and nobody knew what I was talking about. And now a lot of people know about it to the point where it has been released on 4K Blu-ray, which, I mean, that's not saying, oh, it's the most popular thing ever. But Arrow Films is really good at doing that. They release a lot of lesser known films, movies that otherwise I don't think would be released in 4K. So I like Arrow Films. It's basically the B movies version of Criterion. And cut.
The Rambler Network.